So, yeah, let me just thank you for all the intro. I would like to reiterate. I'm Microsoft Business Applications MVP. I became like in January 2021. That's the only positive thing happened in during this COVID period of time. Apart from that, I'm a super user in Microsoft Power Apps and Power Automate community super user, where I contributed with a lot of solutions. And also occasionally I do a lot of videos in the YouTube on the Power Platform use cases. And I have been working in Microsoft domain technologies in almost 20 years, starting with, actually I started with C Sharp first version, .NET first version when it was in beta. From then I started and still working in Microsoft technologies. So coming into the actual session today, my session is on the Power Apps, especially the Canvas applications, how we can use Azure application insights with Power Apps, especially with the Canvas application. So the very first question for anything, generally we ask, what is it, why do we need it, and how we can use it. Those are the three simple questions generally we ask. So we'll talk about those three questions little later, because first initially I'll explain a few things, and with the limitations and drawbacks, or based on the requirement, we'll start using the Azure application insights. So just to start with, you can see my screen. It's my personal tenant. In this, there is one simple Canvas application which I created out of a template. So if you don't know like how to create out of the template, you can just go to Microsoft Power Apps, and in the app section, click on New App and click on Canvas. Once we click on that, and here you see on the screen app templates. Either you can select either of these layouts and click on any of them, and you see a lot of these templates. These templates are mostly pre-built applications with all the data source and all the content you can have with it. And mostly the content, it can reside in the Excel files, and which are stored in the OneDrive. So I built something. I just used the service desk template. Based on that, I created the Canvas application here. So just to play and see what is inside the service desk Canvas application, it is just a regular supporting ticket system, where we can see all the tickets. On the left side, different filters are there, like a new tickets in progress, on hold, closed, all of that. On the middle of the screen and on the right side, you see each ticket and its metadata of the ticket. And top of the screen, you can see different the total statistics about the tickets, like how many total tickets, new tickets in progress, and this. So, and also like if I click on any of the ticket, I can go and see the details of each ticket and all the metadata related to the ticket. Some of the metadata I can change it as well. So there is not a lot of security around this application. This is just like an application, some data driven application, and we can just enter some sample data there. And I can change these metadata by clicking on this right rather than symbol, and you can change the status, all of that. The reason I'm going into this application is what I would like to explain here is, when we create a Canvas application, some of the application, your number of users who uses these applications can be less than like a 10 or 100 or 1,000 or more than 5,000 users. It all depends on application to application. For example, if we see in the last 1 year, a lot of applications were created to track all the due to COVID situation, due to handle all the COVID related situations, we I mean, a lot of applications were created, and some of these applications were used at enterprise level. So enterprise level means maybe some of the companies, they got like a 10,000 plus users or even more. So when so many users are hitting the same application, we need to know a lot of things. Okay, how is this application is loading for each of these users? Are I mean, every user is having the same experience, or is the application loading faster for some users and not loading faster for some users? And what are the other application related issues? So we go through all those issues whenever we create any application, whether it is a Power App application or any website as well. So to troubleshoot any of these performance or usage based or any application support related application related issues, we rely on so many things. Like generally, the developer who creates the application, he knows when he see an issue, what might have gone wrong. But most of the time, some other person creates the application. As in the support team, I may be supporting all the user base. So in that case, how should I troubleshoot all the support tickets? How I should be basically checking the usage of this application? How should I see the actual performance of this application? Without knowing those details, supporting is not going to be easy. So for that, we will see what are the out of the box tools available and how we can use the application insights to help in addition to the available tools. So if we go back to the application Power Apps page here, when I select an app, on the top of the screen in the menu, I can see a couple of them. One is monitor and the other one is analytics. Let's go into the analytics first. So analytics, we know, if you ever been to this page, analytics is basically, it's a bunch of reports about your application. So again, in the analytics, we can see three different types of reports here: usage reports, performance reports, location based reports. So if my application is being used by wide variety of users throughout the globe, I can use these reports to summarize up to some extent. Okay, what are the different platforms, or what are the different operating systems the users are using to access these applications, and also what is the different Power App versions, and also device platform, which is the Windows web players or the Power App mobile application or others. And also we can see the country, region, all of that. So we can see wide variety of reports here. And also performance wise, how fast my application is getting loaded for the first time users. And also each how long is each session is. We can see a lot of reports like this, and all these reports we can slice or the filter the data on the reports by using these slicers, like the device platform or app version or app open scenario or country or region. And also, if you see, all these reports are showing the data from last 30 days only. We do not have flexibility to get the data. Let's say if my app was launched 6 months ago, I don't have privilege or option to see all the 6 months data here, because this is out of the box provided reports for different categories. I cannot change this filter, the last 38 days filter. So in that case, how should I do it? So that's what the application Azure Application Insights will help us, and we will go there. So this is one of the reason. The second thing is this data gets refreshed. If you see, there is a refresh time, and we can see at any point of time only last 30 days. The next one is what I would like to emphasize is the monitor. So the monitor, we know that generally this option, monitor option, we use to troubleshoot any Canvas applications. Means whenever I'm developing any Canvas application, when I'm testing all business cases or use cases, I can use this monitor tool to validate all my scenarios. And also this, we can use this tool to see what's the performance of my each queries or each formula that I have written inside my Canvas application. For example, there are so many formulas that we use in the Canvas application. Like we will use filter, we will use lookup, we will use a lot of other tables, other formulas as well. When we are developing the applications, the application will run very smooth, very fast. But as the days progress, we see a lot of that our data set will grow. Someday, like initially the data may be like 100 records. After 6 months it may be 50,000 or 100,000 or maybe 200,000. Is my application is really capable enough to handle all those scenarios? Did I really handle all the delegation warnings? If you don't handle the delegation warnings, you will not see the data. For example, out of the box, you may see, if you don't handle the delegation warnings, then you will see the data like a 500 items. Even if you expand that to 2000 items, still you beyond 2000 items, you will not see the data, especially when you are filtering the data or searching the data. So some of the functions are not supported. So how do I catch all of that? You can use that by using, one way is to wait till the user reports it. Other one, the second thing is create large chunk of data, and the third thing is make your the app settings to the very minimum number of records, and try to validate that. Otherwise, you can also use this monitor tool whenever you run into some issue, you to validate that. So in this monitor tool, how do I use this monitor tool? So for any application, once you select the app, and from the menu, if you click on monitor, just click on that, then this additional tab will open in the same browser. And on that, you can click on play published app. So what will happen is this option will run the last published option. Not any saved features, but we have to publish all the changes as well. So last published app will run, and all the operations which we perform in the app will be captured in this window. So if I click on this, the app will load here, and it will also notify us that you are connecting to a monitor debug session. Those in this session will see the events generated by the app, including any data. So this is just a notification that will appear for a few seconds. And as soon as you open here, and if you go back to your monitor tab, you can see a lot of these operations are already captured. For each of these, all these operations are related to on app start. When the app is started, what am I doing? I'm actually loading the data from the data sources. I'm refreshing all the data sources and reading all the data into the app. So that is, I have different data sources in my app. If I have like five different data sources connected from my app, all the 5 data sources I'm loading when I start the app. So that's what it is doing right now. All the get rows, all of that is happening. So when I perform any additional operations on the app, like clicking around on different options or going into the details, if we go back to the monitor, it will keep gathering all that information. So one very good information I would say for troubleshooting with respect to performance-oriented issues is you can see if you have any lookups or filters or any similar kind of formulas. We may need to monitor 2 columns here. One is the duration, how much time it is taking, and the other one is responsive size. So we need to see how many bytes of data we are loading into the Canvas app. So if we also need to decide when you are creating app, whether you are creating it for a mobile phone or a tablet or for a PC, right? If we do not restrict, or if we do not provide proper formulas like a filter, we need to understand the difference between lookup and filter. If you need just one record, just use lookup. If you need multiple records when you are showing it in a gallery, just we need to use the filter. So based on the if we try to load a lot of data using those formulas, that will consume a lot of loading time, and that will delay the screen display time. So that's how the performance of the application will go down. So we can, using this monitor tool, we can actually track down all those majority of the performance related issues by checking this duration and responsive size as well. And also any application issues also. Right now I don't have any issues, otherwise it will show you in a red mark as well. If there are any application issues, means if some data source is unable to load, or if some certain condition is not matching, and if you are performing some additional operations on that, then it will still throw you some errors here. And on clicking on it, you can really see the data. For example, here, if I, let's say, load screen, and on the right side, you see the load, there is a properties pane on the right side. If you expand it, you can see the entire JSON format, and also the formula as well. Some reason it's not displaying. But you can see the entire JSON, what exactly it is doing, and also the get, what is the data source, and what control it is loading, all of that information as well. So keeping these two tools, one is the analytics, the other one is monitoring. These two will help you really understand how this Canvas application is being used by all my users, means all the users within the company, especially if the application is like enterprise level, which enterprise level in the sense thousands of users are using it. Then in that case, I would like to see some additional details as well. I would like to see some additional details. Apart from that, I want to build my own reports. I don't want to just rely on what was provided out of the box, but I want to build my own reports, so that I can get more data. The more data I visualize and analyze it, I can take more actions based on that. Next thing is how I can basically, how do I know if my Power App, some business logic was not written properly, but while the user is using, there was an error thrown. So when an error is displayed, generally the user may get some error message on their client browser screen. But how do I know which user experienced which error? Unless they take the screenshot and share it with us, we may not know. Or unless we write some logic to write those custom error messages into some your own logs, like maintaining some SharePoint list or some Excel file to log all the data, you may not capture it. But without doing all of that custom work, by simply enabling Azure's application insight, we can get all of that. So, but I try to set up little ground to before we go into the Azure application insights. So let's get into the application insights now. So going back to my slide deck, I got only one slide deck here. So if we take Azure is a beast in the sense it has 600 plus cloud services are there. So many services. So many services. So how do we track each of those services are working absolutely fine? It's very hard to track unless someone experience some issues. We cannot go and we will not go into that particular service and check it, right? So apart from one of the cloud service is Azure Monitoring service. So this Azure monitoring service, it's basically monitors all applications, operating systems, resources, subscriptions, tenant, lot many other items. It monitors. It's a common Azure monitor. A monitor service is a common service which actually monitor everything, and it based on the operations or different calls happening through these different artifacts, it basically logs all that interactions into two databases. One is a metrics database and the other one is logs database. Metrics database contains the data which is really good to generate the reports. Logs data, the data in the logs database, it contains in the form of rows and columns. If you see the right side screenshots, the metrics is more, the data is more ready for building the reports right away. And logs, it is like more of rows and columns. And based on these two databases, there are a lot of other things can be done in the monitoring service. One of them is application insights. Rest of them we are not exploring right now, but the very one of them is application insights. So let's go into my personal tenant, and I will create one application insights into it, and then we will try to use that insights in the Power Apps, and then how we can capture the information from the Power App. So let's get into it. So I have this is my personal tenant here. Let's go. I mean, we are in portal.azure.com, and here first thing, in every Azure portal we have some subscriptions. You can have multiple subscriptions. Generally, this subscriptions and application insights, this needs to be done by a global administrator. So you, as a Canvas application owner, I need to work with my global administrator. If you are a global admin, you can directly you can do it as well. So the very first thing is I need to make sure I have a subscription. If we do not have a subscription, we can't create application Azure insights. So first thing is Azure subscription. Again, if you are using your personal tenant, you can create an Azure subscription. Again, here I don't want to create one, but you can create a trial version subscription, which is good for 30 days. Or you can also create a subscription pay as you go, means based on your consumption, you can pay. You can pay. So there are multiple types of subscriptions. I used one of them. So let's go back. Once we create a subscription here, now we need to create Azure Application Insights. So search for Application Insights. So then you will find under Services, we can find Application Insights here. Just click on that. I already created one, but we will explore how to create one. So let's create one. So let's click on Create. As soon as when we click on Create, we will see this screen, and here we need to select the subscription. That's why we need to have a subscription first, and also a resource group. If you don't have a resource group, just click on New and create one resource group. And also name, you can give any name. One other important thing is we are creating an application insight here. And if you see here, I can create any number of application insights here. Like by clicking on create, you can create any number of application insights. So in my company, if I'm using 10 different enterprise level Canvas applications or different kinds of applications. So application insights is not just for Power Apps or Power Apps. You can use this for so many other things. Like you can use, if you are creating a website or web application, you can still use that application to track all the activities in that particular web application. So today we are using it for the Power Apps. So if I have 10 different Canvas applications running in, they are all enterprise level Canvas applications. I want to monitor all of them. So instead of creating one single application inside for 10 all applications, it is best to create 10 different application insight items here and track one application with one of them. So instead of creating everything and putting together in one application insights, when we put all the 10 applications in one single application insight, what will happen is all the data, all the monitoring information will be stored in a single application insights repository. Rather, if I need to see the application specific data, I need to go into this application insight and filter the data and see it. Rather than that, create individual application insights and associate your application with each one of them. Okay, let's create one, and I'll show you how to associate your Canvas application with application insights. So here I will say, like, let's say service desk power app insights. That's my application insight I'm creating. And the region is, I will select Central US, and I already created log analytics as workspace as well. And now I will click on review. Then it will review all the provided information, and validation is passed. I can click on create. So as soon as I click on create, what will happen is it will deploy the application insight. It will create that application insight. So the deployment is complete. If we just refresh it, we should see more data. So next steps, go to resource. So this is the service desk power apps insights. So you can see a lot of other options. So as soon as the application insight is created, the very important property that we need to identify is the instrumentation key. This is the only important property that we need to connect your application insights with your Canvas application. So we need to connect. Now we created an application insight item, and we have our Canvas application. We need to connect these two. So the only way to connect them is by using the instrumentation key. So just copy the instrumentation key, and now you go to your Power Apps application, click on your apps, and click on edit the application, the Canvas application. When we edit the Canvas application, only one small change that we need to do here. We will see that as soon as it comes up. So we are not going into any of this part, any of these screens. We don't need to explore any of this logic written in these screens. But all we need to do is just click under the tree view. You see the root element, which is an app element. So here, just select that. On the right side here, and under the app object properties, we'll see instrumentation key. So I already plugged in one instrumentation key here, which is related to another application site. So all we need to do is just copy paste the instrumentation key here, and then save your application, and then publish it. That's it. All we need to do is just select the app item, and for the app object, we just need to paste the instrumentation key from your application Azure applications insight property instrumentation key property value. That's all. So once that is done, now our both application insights as well as the Power App both are connected together now. It generally takes 30 minutes to log any operations that we perform in the Canvas app into the application insights. So now I already have an application insights application. I already created another one previously. Let me delete this one so that we let's leave it now. This is the one I created previously and connected with the Canvas application. So as I said, it will take 30 minutes to start logging all the operations into the application insights. But I experienced any time like a 5 to 10 minutes, it started doing it, but probably it's not doing everything. But I started seeing various operations logging into the application insights. So let's explore what is inside this application insights. How do I see all the usage data or performance data and a lot of other things which I don't have privilege to see in other screens, like in the monitor screen or in the app or in the other screens as well. So I'm in the custom application insights screen, where on the left side you can see a lot of features or options are there. There are few things it's hard to explain everything in this session because a lot of things needs to be covered. So I will go with some of the options and you can start learning on your own, and I'll also point some resources as well. So the very first thing under the monitoring, alerts. So alerts are right now I don't have any alerts, but this is the place where I can come and set some alerts rules. Like whenever any failures happens in the Power App application, I can set an alert. I can create some alert rules here. Based on the alert rules, I can send notifications, or I can set some actions as well. So this is very important. So instead of we wait till the user communicate back to us, some issue happened. If we really set up some alerts in the application insight, as soon as the alert happens, you will get a notification. You can set up that. Also, you can set up some actions as well. The other one is workbooks. Workbooks are like reports. Microsoft already built so many workbooks here related to my specific application or this particular application insights. Means the data which is captured by this monitoring service related to my Canvas application. I can use this all these workbooks. For example, I would like to know what's the downtime and outages of my Canvas application. When I click on it, I can see that. And also I can see performance analysis, failure analysis, or all these are predefined workbooks. So we don't need to build anything from scratch. We can see active users, for example, and also analysis of page views as well. So if we click on active users, we can see how many active users are there. If I see, I just use my personal account here, but I launched 15 different sessions and 78 different views. And also we can see all the different screens, different screens in my Canvas applications. And also we can see last 30 days of data. But as I said, in the analytics reports, we can see only up to 30 days. But as I said, we can go up to 90 days in the report. And also in some of the places, I can actually go beyond 90 days also. I will show you that as well. Going back to workbooks, we can see other usage of calendar, usage calendar, usage by hours of the day, all these different reports which are pre-built, and it will display your data, means the usage data of your Canvas application. And the next one is users. How do I use it will show us all the list of users who have accessed my Canvas application. And again, there are a lot of filters here. We can filter, we can change the filters. This is the one I was talking about. In the previous workbooks, I can get up to 90 days, but in the custom, I can go beyond 90 days. So we can go even the calendar is given, but we need to see how much data is really worth to load into these reports. Based on that, you can just basically start time and end time. We can filter and load that. So, and also different charts are there, line chart, bar chart, and area chart. And also if we scroll down, we can see more insights of the users. There are 2 sessions, 11 events. The performance is unacceptable because I tried to load this app from my iPhone. That's when it took a really long time. That's why it is throwing as unacceptable. And also we see 3 different tiny reports here, per country or region, how many users, per operating system, as well as per browser as well. The next one is I can also see most active users as well. So the next one is the other very fascinating, or this feature I really like it in the application insight, is which is not available in other places, is okay, now I got my app here, and if I open it here, every user is different. Based on their need, they will access different screens in a different way. Like I can go to tickets hold, I can create one. Every user follows their own path, right? So I would like to know how many user sessions were launched and how each user session accessed different screens. What is the flow of their access of these screens? I can see all of that in the application insights. Under usage, you can see user flows. How do I see that? Is just click on select event, and here just select anything like the dashboard page, which is the starting page, and the time range I will change it to last 14 days, because so that I can capture all my sessions. And here in the included events, I can change it to not just the events but all the page views. Each screen is a page view, so you can see all of that. And then click on create graph. It will create the graph for you. So here you can see here I got only there are 15 sessions. Each of them, all these started with the dashboard page, and some of them 9 sessions, they from the dashboard page they went to ticket details page, and 3 of the sessions they ended right there only, and 3 sessions they went from dashboard page to create a new ticket page. So this will really give me a complete idea how the users are really navigating between various screens. And also, if you notice, the red line indicates the session ended. I mean, as a last step, the red line represents that. And also, you see the blue lines. In some places, it is very thin. Some places, it is thick. The thickness all depends on the number of sessions. If you see here, this is just one session, and if you take the other one, this is 5 sessions. If you take this one, this is 9 sessions. So graphically they are representing, the more the thick, the more usage is happening between those screens. And also now I can see here there are few things here, previous steps and next steps. So I can change the number of steps as well, previous steps as well as next steps as well. What does that mean is I can navigate back and forth between the screens. So I can see all the 9 different steps. So if you see, this is step 1, step 2, step 3. I mean, you can see the steps also, how the user navigated. You can see up to 9 steps. You can see how the user navigated between, even though there are only 5 or a few screens are there, how the user navigated between those screens. So we can clearly see like up to 9 steps. Okay, I can see all of this. This is really cool, and I want to share only application insights. The global admin can come and log into this screen and see all the data, but I would like to see this information, how I can see that. One thing is you can save these reports, all these user flows, you can save it. and we can save these reports in either in your own reports or a shared reports. You can share in both any of those two places. Means once we share there, let's say user flow 1 application inside favorite, I think it's already there. That's why let's click on creating it. Okay, save as maybe 2. Okay, now the report is saved. This particular report is saved. Now I want to share this with some user in my team. I can click on share. That will send, you can copy the link and share it, or click on share link via email. As soon as you click, your Outlook or your email client will open up and it will copy the entire link. And you can just and send the email to whoever you want. And with this link they can access, they should be able to see the report. And if I just took the link and paste it in another tab, and I will see the entire report. Okay, this is how you can see the entire report. So whatever report I saved, I can just see the same thing. Okay, this will help me how my user's navigation path is, and I can concentrate to improve that particular path if users are doing it, if users are running into it. Okay, let's go back quickly with one other very important thing is logs. In the screen, in the PowerPoint slide deck, I explained logs is a database where we can see the data in rows and columns wise. This is the place we can see all the data as your like a tables wise. And also when I click on logs, actually we let me come back and I will open. It will already it will provide you some queries as well. Already build some queries. So you want to see the response time trend or request count trend, a lot of other queries which are already pre-built. And the other thing is, if you want to know, and we can also build our own queries to in this screen, because everything is stored in a database and you want to query it. So Microsoft already gave you some predefined queries, but you can also build your own queries. So to learn how to query in this place is, if you see on the screen, this is the area to where we can type our own queries, and this is all the history of the queries. And if I want to learn the queries, there are two ways: either take an existing query and update it, or learn from typing from the scratch. So I will show you briefly how the queries looks like. So here, if I double click on it, you will see this is the traces is the one of the table, I would say. And you can query the table, and you can limit the entries. You can see in the history I already queried last time. You can limit the number of entries in that and click run. It will give you all the tracing information that was logged from the application into the application insights. So all that information I can see here. And also how and the language that is used to write the queries, it is Christo. Let's see, you can learn it from the help here on the right side. You can click on that and the language reference. If you click on that, you can see the language is Custo query language, and you can see the entire reference for the language here and the help. It should be pretty straightforward. Maybe with a little learning is required. And also you can, this query again depends on the time range. We can again change the time range up to whatever we want, and also additional custom that is like a no bound. We can actually go back in the past to get the data as well. So this is very useful to query the data. Okay,
Krishna, Krishna, I'm sorry to interrupt. Will you just like to wrap maybe a little soon? Maybe
okay.
a couple of minutes, maybe.
Yeah, sure. Okay,
Uh,
sorry for that. Thanks for the heads up. Okay. So we can also write our custom messages into the application insights. The one thing is, if you can go to your service canvas application, and then in the service application, you can actually, sorry, it's taking a little time there. I should have kept it open. Yeah, in the service application, actually, I already placed, you can write a few, there is a formula or function called a trace. Using that trace function, you can write the data. So that will directly go into your application insights. If you see here, this is the trace entered by Krishna here. So that's how we can write the other, whether it's information or errors or all of that. And the final important thing is, previously I mentioned we can build our own custom reports. You can build it by using export here and export to Power BI query. Just click on the Power BI query, and it will give you the mQuery, entire mQuery here. We don't need to change anything. All you need to do is open your Power BI desktop and go to get data and blank query. It's already mentioned in the here. It's already mentioned here, right here, the instruction how to get that. So all you need is just copy the entire thing and get to blank query. I think I already opened, and go to the advanced editor, and then copy your entire code and just done, and your query will be ready. I think it's the credentials, but my query is all done. So that's how, like, we can get the whole data into your Power BI, and you can build your own custom reports as well.